Falcon the Winter Soldier episode 2 just aired on Disney Plus, and it drops a major reveal for the MCU, a secret that Bucky was keeping from even Steve Rogers, the existence of a super soldier and a Captain America in the character of Isiah Bradley. Spoiler warning for the episode, we're going to fully explain what is going on with the Isiah Bradley character and what we think this means for the plot of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and the ultimate choice that Sam Wilson will make when it comes to the shield and potentially the super soldier serum. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. We do want to issue another spoiler warning for the second episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I mean, come on. At this point, you should know.
I don't know, do you?
But yeah, we want to talk about the massive, the crazy reveal of Isiah Bradley in episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Isiah Bradley being a black super soldier and actually a black Captain America that existed before Steve Rogers comes out of the ice. And now let's quickly do a TLDR on Isiah Bradley from Marvel Comics. And here we are on the wiki on the Marvel fandom, and it says here Isiah Bradley, aka Black Captain America, was one of the 300 African American soldiers who were used as test subjects at Camp Cathcart as a part of the Project Rebirth's attempt to recreate the super soldier serum. Bradley was the only survivor who becomes Captain America. This was seen as treasonous by the military, who sentenced him to life in prison as punishment. Although he was released after 17 years, his legacy remained a secret to the world at large, but became a legend and a hero to the black community. Now, Isiah Bradley is a character that comes from a comic that was a Captain America comic called Truth, Red, White, and Black. Now, this was a 7-issue miniseries written by Robert Morales and drawn by Kyle Baker. Apparently, the original concept for the character came from an offhanded comment made by Marvel's publisher Bill Jamis, and Axel Alonso was taken by the idea of the inherent of politics wrapping a black man in red, white, and blue, and a larger story, a metaphor of America itself. He also immediately thought of the Tuskegee study. In a meeting with Joe Quesada, Alonso proceeded to pitch the idea to Robert Morales, who was brought in to write the story and create the supporting cast and the ending. Now, this part's pretty interesting. Morales says that the idea of an African-American Captain America first made him laugh, but then when he heard the premise, he actually found it depressing. He goes on to say that the story he wrote in Truth, Red, White, and Black was a script that was so staggeringly depressing, he was sure that Marvel would turn it down. But they didn't. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of different things here. Isiah Bradley, a character that comes from this comic book run called Truth, Red, White, and Black. I've read this before. I was actually in a comic book sort of reading club, and this was one of the sort of cool, lesser-known stories that we read in that club, and I found it to be pretty interesting. But it might surprise you to find that the actual comic itself has not just been universally accepted as this glorious piece of work that has been representative of the black experience. In fact, some people think that the book itself actually reinforces stereotypes. Basically, all I'm saying is that the book is worth looking into what that comic was about, how the critical reception of that comic sort of permeated society, and I think you'll sort of understand that it's a really bold choice for Spellman and the team for Falcon and the Winter Soldier to be tackling this exact comic at this exact time, and I think they're doing it fantastically. Now, let's talk just specifically about the character in the show. Now, I found this scene to be absolutely chilling, but it also sets up amazingly interesting things for the MCU in sort of its narrative plot. I mean, for one thing, we know that the government was utilizing Isiah Bradley, I believe, with the Captain America shield and sending him behind enemy lines to go after the Winter Soldier. That's likely not the only thing that they had Isiah Bradley doing. They likely had him doing a ton of different missions until he was considered to be no longer useful, or perhaps until they felt as though they lost control of him. And I absolutely love the fact that he decimated the Winter Soldier, and this was when Bucky was full on in Terminator Terminator mode, guys. We must remember that before Bucky sort of got his time of peace in Wakanda, he was a pretty scary, brainwashed machine of a man that was just going through everybody. I mean, in that film, The Winter Soldier, he is a force of nature. It's something to behold. And Isiah Bradley apparently literally ripped off half of the metal arm and totally decimated this dude, but Bucky ended up getting away. And in that very chilling scene that Isiah Bradley has with Sam and Bucky, he does explain a lot of the horrors that he had to endure after his time serving. He says to Bucky, that your people weren't done with me. And we later find out in the episode that what he meant by that was Hydra. And that Hydra, and probably Hydra under the guise of being S.H.I.E.L.D. and a part of the U.S. government, was doing an incredible amount of experimentations on Isiah Bradley and likely trying to take his blood and his organs and recreate the super soldier serum. And that's a whole nother thing. It's like this whole idea of the super soldier serum and how lucky Steve Rogers was. I mean, we're seeing all sorts of bad examples. You look at Abomination, you look at Hulk, you look at all the other Winter Soldiers, you look at Bucky, you look at Isiah Bradley. It's a lot of broken people, man. This super soldier serum is not a good thing. It's very dangerous, and it's destroyed almost everybody. Again, Steve's situation is an absolute miracle. And we get all of that, and I think one of the things that's super cool is we do see the young man that we believe will end up being Patriot, and that would be the young man that answered the door. This would be Elijah or Eli Bradley. And we're pretty sure that due to him being related to the super soldier that is Isiah Bradley, he will have inherited some of that strength and that he is something like a super soldier himself. And let's not forget that they literally go to recruit this guy. They need his help. That's what this is about. He's literally trying to recruit the help of this old Isiah Bradley guy because they need to level the playing field. They are going up against a bunch of other superpowered people. They need super soldiers themselves, and I think that is the original intention and why Bucky goes to get his help. But it just happens to be a thing that it's like, holy crap, there's this dark history to the super soldier program. There's this racial history to the super soldier program, that there perhaps was a black Captain America and there was a black super soldier back in the day that then was treated horribly by the government of the United States that, yeah, maybe was Hydra, but still was the government of the United States. It's cool, man. And if I'm being honest, it seems like it has a lot of depth. It seems to play in nicely to the MCU. And the reason I think I'm so into this is because legitimately that Captain America run is like a very niche book. Not a lot of people knew about that Captain America Truth book. And that's cool. I love little niche, diamonds in the rough like that. But what Feige and company and Spellman and everybody are doing is taking that thing and then working it into the beautiful, intricate, crazy thing that we have in the MCU and elevating it. And this is the thing I keep telling people. It's look, are we doing some all new, all different Marvel right now? For sure. If you're a Marvel comic reader and you didn't like all new, all different, should you maybe be a little worried? Maybe. But I would say give it a chance because I legitimately believe Feige and company are able to take this comic book stuff that I do agree Marvel did not handle in the best way in the past 5 years, and they can adapt it and elevate it and make it much better. I'm looking forward to the Young Avengers more than I ever did in Marvel Comics in Feige's live action version. So that's just kind of where I am at with this and with the character of Isiah Bradley. And so then I guess the question is, look, Isiah Bradley shows that he has mental deterioration from either the trauma, the experiments, the serum, or a combination of all of that. And he also shows that he has the strength. The question is, will he join up with the cause? Will he actually help Sam and Bucky? Or is this just sort of a stop along the road for both characters and something that won't have a major influence moving forward? That I'm not sure about. I know that the Patriot character is likely to continue to play a role moving forward, maybe in even this show, but we're kind of on to Zemo now. We're going to go into Zemo land and go into Hydra land and figure all of that stuff out as well. But Lastly, I did want to say that a lot of sort of leaks and rumors and just general expectations for the way the show will go is that we're going to see the super soldier serum through the power broker likely be injected into John Walker and into his sidekick, Lamar Hoskins. So if they become super soldiers and there's other super soldiers, we think there may be an opportunity for Sam to take the super soldier serum. And it may well be because of meeting the character of Isiah Bradley and some of the other experiences that he's going to have with the people that are falling apart because of the super soldier serum, including Bucky Barnes. Sam is likely to say no to the super soldier serum. At least that's kind of the way I think it's going to go down, and it's going to sort of be this big moral issue, but there are going to be other people that want to take the super soldier serum. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting take. What do you guys think of that? What do you think of the Isiah Bradley character? Did you love the introduction? Do you think it was really interesting? Was it not your thing? Whatever you are thinking and feeling about this episode and the crazy reveal. I mean, personally, I find it nuts that Bucky didn't even tell Steve Rogers this. I mean, seems like a pretty big deal. And how many other crazy secrets does Bucky have? You know, it's kind of an interesting thing, but that's pretty much all in this video. Let us know your thoughts on what you were thinking about the Isiah Bradley character in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.